All right. Says it's streaming. There we go. Okay. So welcome everyone. Well, there's no one here yet, but I am doing a live stream where I'm going to play with Junos and Arista containerized EOS. So I'm using Container Lab. So most of my experience is running. Let's move this over here. So most of my experience is running containerized containerized EOS from Arista in Container Lab. And today we're going to do EVPN VXLAN labbing with Arista cEOS and Juniper crpd. So there's a couple of different iterations of Juniper virtual instances. I think there's like 5 or 6. Arista is a little bit easier because Arista just has one container version. That's cEOS. So let's go over Arista. So Arista has EOS for physical switches. It has VEOS it's a virtual machine. And it has containerized EOS, which is a container, runs on Docker, and works amazing with Container Lab. It's one of my favorite. It's probably the best one out there right now in terms of, for a couple of reasons. One, containerized EOS you can get for free and legally use it on the Arista website. Excuse me. The only thing that you have to do is you have to register on the Arista website with a like Gmail or Yahoo account. So you can just register it and then you can download it immediately, and it's really great like that. So you don't have to like worry about trying to find something that fell off the back of a truck. And there's also VEOS and EOS, of course. But containerized EOS works great in Docker, and it works great with Container Lab, and it makes it just really easy to run. Also, Arista EOS, the commands are the same for all of the different versions. So EOS, VEOS, and cEOS, they release them every major release. I think 4.34 is the current one. And they're simultaneous for all platforms. So virtualized, containerized, and regular. It's mostly data plane and control plane. There's a couple of things that the virtual and containerized instances can't do. There's some weird multicast stuff that they don't do, and like queues, hardware queues. There's no hardware queues on these, of course. So some of the QoS stuff doesn't really work. But you can build an EVPN VXLAN topology, and you can pass packets and do in-cap and decap and all that stuff, and it works great. And it works in a container, which means, and it's also very iOS-like, or more similar to NXOS. So it works great for those kind of things. And what I'm doing right now is I'm playing around with Juniper just to get a little bit more experience. And Juniper is interesting because they've got a couple of different virtual and containerized instances. It's not nearly as neat as and tidy as the Arista offerings. So one of them is a Juniper vSwitch, and I've run that in Container Lab. It's really heavy. It takes 5 or 6 gigs of RAM, whereas cEOS takes about 1 gigabyte of RAM per instance. So if I've got a 16 gig system, I can run 10 different containers. I'm going to build a full topology in that 16 gigs. I can't do that with Juniper vSwitch. There's also vRouter, MX, and then there's something called crpd, which I've just started playing with. And this stream is on crpd. And I ran into a couple of interesting issues with crpd. One, you have to register with a Juniper website, which you do with Arista. You have to, it's not immediate. It takes like a day, and then you do, and that's fine. And then you can download the crpd evaluation, and the evaluation is not licensed to do almost anything. So I've been playing around with that. So for example, let's go ahead and go into, I've got it running right now. Let's do Docker PS. So we've got 2 instances of crpd running right now. So Junos R1. And it's CLab123 is the password here. And, another interesting thing is that this doesn't drop you into the Junos CLI. It drops you into Bash. So let's get we're in Linux there. So I'll do CLI, and that gets, this is now the Junos CLI. So I can do show config. And that's the native syntax. And I can do show config, display set. So all the set commands. So what I did is I was able to build an OSPF adjacency between the two, and then I was able to build EVPN, VXLAN, or EVPN between them. So it's just a control plane. There's no data. I haven't set up EVPN yet. I honestly don't know how. So that's kind of what this is about, is figuring this out. There's also, if I do show license, display license. There's a license that I had to install, which was interesting. Let's see if I got a copy of that license. Oops. Was it show system license? That's it. Yeah, show system license. So it's a trial, and so it looks like it's going to expire in November. So that's kind of yeah. See if we can find a license file. Let's see. No. Because when I need to, I had it in a different window. I'm going to need this license in a second. So it's trials and yeah, trials. And yeah, they don't make it easy to find the license file, to find the licenses. Because I'm about to tear these down and set up a new topology. Why don't we just, well, I've got this right now. I'll just go ahead and do see if I can find. So I've been using this this blog post from simonbingham.net and going through his stuff. He was using BGP as the underlay and BGP as the overlay. I'm using OSPF as the underlay because it's super simple. And so far I've got everything. I've got the control plane set up, but I don't have any data planes set up or data plane set up. So I didn't even know if crpd can do a data plane. So let's see if that's even possible. Because I don't even know if I can create a VLAN. So right now, the only thing I've got going on is if I do show BGP summary, I'm established. I've got 2 routers. Let's go ahead and do a little diagram here. So topology 1. Is I've just got 2 of these crpd instances called Junos R1 and Junos R2. There's only one connection between them. On Ethernet 1 on each. And for the loopback, there's 111. Over here is 2222. And I did do a numbered IP address. I could do unnumbered, but I did 0. Okay, that's what I did. Yeah, the numbering of the interface is a little interesting because with CRPD rather, you don't do the normal numbering scheme for a Juniper switch. It uses the Linux interfaces, Ethernet 1, Ethernet 2, Ethernet 3, etc. Ethernet 0 is the management interface. So that's the management interface, and then this is the Ethernet 1. So I've only got Ethernet 1 configured. So 10.1.1.2/30. And 1 over there. And I've got OSPF running. So area 0, just real simple. And then I do have a EVPN VXLAN established between the 2. So that's EVPN. Going on right there. So I've got a control plane I can exchange EVPN routes. So what I do need to do is that's R2 there. Shoot, I didn't create any other interfaces. I don't know if it will save. I do need that license because without the trial license, it won't allow EVP and VXLAN to even come up. Show system license file. Installed. Detail. VSRX. So the license, so another thing is the license, I couldn't get a license for CRPD, but I used VSRX and that actually worked. So I used the same license and it worked. Let's even find the... Maybe it's here. Oh yeah, that's it. Okay. All right. So I've got the link. So I just searched for VRSX. Okay, let's go ahead and destroy this. So I'm going to create a new topology here. Oh, and I probably want to save the commands. Display set. Copy that, and that is R1. I'll just paste it into some text files. That's all I need, because I can do search. Well, no, let's do the other one. CLI, show config, display set. All right, so I'll go ahead and destroy these. All right, so what my ideal is here is I'm going to create a, so that's topology 1. Let's do topology 2. Just go ahead and shoot right to that. So topology 2 is going to be a Franken fabric, where we're going to have both Arista and Juniper existing, trying to build a combined EVP and VXLAN fabric. And that's going to be kind of weird. And I have a thing for this.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Yeah, so that's going to be them living together there. And I'm going to have this will be spine 1, cEOS. I'll have spine 2. That'll be crpd, which is Junos. I'll just say Junos. I'll have leaf 1 and leaf 2. And see if I can get them to work. And then I'll do multi-homing. Let's do leaf 2 as cEOS and leaf 3 as Junos. So we'll have a couple of these. And the reason why I'm doing that is I want one host here. So this will be host 1. And I'm just going to run it in cEOS. And then host 2, I'm going to dual home. And we'll use, since we can't use MLAG, because I don't think Juniper calls it MCLAG. And I don't think that you probably can't do, I would guess that you probably can't do MLAG or MCLAG with crpd. I don't even know if you can do MCLAG with virtual switch. So we'll see. We'll see. So this is what I'm going to try to set up here. So let's go ahead and create the topology file for this. So that'll be here. And I've got cEOS. So we'll do spine 1. Or spine 2 will be Junos. Leaf 3 will be Junos. So it'll be loading these up, and then I've got spine 1 kind cEOS Arista and image will be cEOS 4.332F. So 434 came out, but I don't know. I don't think there's any reason I need to upgrade that. That'll be leaf 1. Leaf 1. Leaf 2. I'm going to be specific about, I'm going to do a couple of things here. Yeah, I'm going to copy this here. Oh, it's already done. So that's good. I do want to specify the management IP addresses. I just like to set them manually. So spine 1 will be 101, be 102, 11, 12, 13. Then we've got host 1. And host 2. We'll make them 51 and 52. 13. All right, so that's good. Now we need the links. And so that will be, go back to my topology here. So we'll do from the spines down. So spine 1, the cEOS, and that'll be Ethernet 1. Yeah, Ethernet 1. 2, leaf 1, Ethernet 1. This just gets a little tedious here. So, and then spine 1, Ethernet 2 goes to leaf 2, Ethernet 1. Ethernet 3 goes to leaf 3, Ethernet 1. I think they use the same. Yeah, so that would be so EOS and containerized EOS and crpd use the same numbering scheme, so that's good. That makes things a little bit simpler. So spine 2. You know what? I'll just copy all of these. Now, what I don't know is what are the full capabilities of crpd. I couldn't really find a good answer for any of that, so can it even do any of this stuff? All right, so that looks good. Now I need endpoints. Leaf 1 on Ethernet 3. And points. And that'll be host 1, Ethernet 1. We're just doing one connection on to host 1, leaf 1. And leaf 2 and leaf 3 will go to Ethernet 1 and 2 on host 2. All right. I think that's enough. I think that'll do it. So sudo container lab deploy. Oh, looks like it's working. So I'll probably do this for about an hour. So about 40 more minutes of this playing around. So this is running on my Autobox Project Nerd. It's a set of instructions for creating a virtual machine that can run Container Lab. Like this interface that you're seeing right here is VS Code. It's running on the Autobox. Just a Linux machine. It's Alma Linux. Running Container Lab, and it's a whole set of instructions on how to set all of this up. So this is a self-contained, all-in-one virtual machine that has this interface, this VS Code running as a web app. It's got Container Lab, Python, Ansible, cEOS, some topologies. So if this works out, I'm going to upload this as a topology that you can run on the box. All right, so we're all established now. So let's go to root at spine 1, and so wait, spine 2. Let's CLab 1, 2, 3. Go to CLI and then go to config mode. And I want to do set interfaces. Oh yeah, set protocols, LDP. Does it not do LDP? That would be very annoying. Show protocols LDP. Yeah, shoot, it doesn't do LDP. That's going to be annoying. Can we see it from admin at leaf 1? Nope. Shoot. Make sure I got the... All right, leaf 1. Config protocol. Wait. CLI LDP. No, that's not what I want. Yeah, LDP is not supported in this, which is annoying. Maybe it's supported in Linux. What is this? Debian, so apt get install LDP. All right, so I can't do that. That's one of the really nice things about cEOS is all in one place. It's all there. I think this would probably work with. I think this would probably work with vSwitch. Okay, because LDP does work with vSwitch. I know that with Junos vSwitch. But like I said, it eats up a lot of CPU and it eats up a lot of RAM. My hypervisor, the fans go crazy when I turn on vSwitch. Whereas cEOS is really light, and crpd seems really light too. Like if I do sudo docker ps, oh, it's stats. So the memory usage, yeah, it's really low for crpd. It's even lower than cEOS. The CPU is pretty low too. All right, let's see what we can do here. So set interfaces, CLI, config, set interface, Ethernet 1. What did he even say that was configured there? So on spine 2, Ethernet 1 is connected to leaf 1. Let's try to do unnumbered. Unit 0, family, inet. Can I do unnumbered? Address, can't Can't do unnumbered. Unit 0, family, inet. Yeah, it doesn't support unnumbered. Shoot. That's annoying. Unit 0. All right. Well, we'll just create a. We'll do it the tedious way. I'm going to use OSPF as the underlay again, just because it's a little bit simpler to configure. I'll use the. No, I don't want to use that. 55.1/30. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. Subnetting in my head. That's why I don't like using numbered addresses. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22. All right, so this is why I like either automation or IP unnumbered, just it's much simpler. I probably could do RFC 5549, but that involves BGP for the underlay and the overlay, and for learning this, I really want OSPF as the underlay. All right, so spine 2 on Ethernet 1, which is connected to leaf 1, is 192.168.255.6.30. Ethernet 2. 14.30 and Ethernet 3 is 22.30. Commit and quit. So we'll go to spine. We'll go to leaf 1. Yep, can't see that. All right. Config interface leaf interface E2 IP address, no switch port, IP address 530. All right, so that worked. Leave that there. Configuring everything manually. Ethernet 1, IP address. All right, so that's good there. I'll go ahead and configure the other IP address, Ethernet 1. Right at leaf 3. CLab 123. CLI. Config. Set interfaces Ethernet 1, which is connected to spine 1, unit 0, family inet, 168.255, 1730 address, and then Ethernet 2, 2130. I'm just using this guide right here. Commit and quit. Oh yeah, the other thing is on these, the ping doesn't work. So I can't run ping from crpd. But I can run it from the command line. I haven't really figured out what to do for VRFs, or if this thing even supports VRFs. So then I got to go to spine 1. All right. All right, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. All right, so it looks like all the pinging's done. Now I need to give them all loopbacks. And so that will be... Let's do... 101. Before I throw everything into area 0. All right, fix loopback 0. IP address 10.1, 255.101. So enter CLI config. So the bash shell and the config shell, the config prompt look identical, so it's kind of it's a little confusing. And set interfaces loopback 0, 0. Let's do 0. Unit 0, family inet address 10, 1, 255, 3, 32. Commit and quit. Okay, no errors. That's good. Leave 2. Back 0. Leave 1. All right. Next is configuring OSPF. So set protocols, OSPF, area 0, interface. So spine 2 has 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ethernet 1. Interface type, point to point. That is passive. So that should be OSPF for spine 1, spine 2 rather. Routing, router ID will be the loopback. Oh, I think I configured these wrong. Shoot. Yeah, I did the delete. Got it backwards. 255 1. Nope, I did it right. Shoot. Show config, display set. All right, I need to reset that. All right. $255 1. Router OSPF 0. Oh, router OSPF. IP OSPF area 0. And interface E1 and 2. It's going to be IP OSPF area 0, IP OSPF network point to point, and show run all, grep mask. Oh, I don't have to do that. Show IP OSPF neighbor. It's trying. MTU is too large. Okay, we got a bad MTU. Show interface E2. So So our MT is 1500 bytes. So maybe I need to set it over here. Set interface Ethernet 1 MTU 1500. There we go. That's what it was. Wonder what they default to. Interface Ethernet 2. No, MTU 9500. Wow, that's big MTU. I'm actually going to set this to, we're running Container Lab, so I don't want to do like a 9,000 byte MTU, because I think that might not work for a couple of reasons on the V switches in between. So I'm going to set it for 1550. So interface E1 through 3. Oh, actually just E1 and 2. For the leafs and the spines, those point-to-point connections, I'm going to set the MTU to 1550. And the reason there is that it will allow a 50 byte header on top of the normal Ethernet frame. That 50 bytes will be the VXLAN header. So that'll be more than enough. And then that also should so that should do that. Configure. I'll set that for Ethernet 2 as well, and Ethernet 3. So with OSPF, the MTUs have to match unless you do something to ignore the MTU, but we're not going to do that. So they're there for leaf 1, interface E1 through 2, IP OSPF, OSPF area 0, IP OSPF network point-to-point. So did I get anything from OSPF? I did. Did I get a /32? Yeah, I did. I got the loopback. That's what I want. We're exchanging loopbacks. And I got the loopback from OSPF. So that's what we're doing. This part here is just loopbacks to OSPF. So we've got leaf 1 configured, leaf 2, IP routing, router OSPF 10, router ID. You always want to set a router ID. It solves so many problems. Interface loopback 0, IP OSPF area 0. Interface E1 through 2, MTU 1550, IP OSPF area 0, IP OSPF network point-to-point. And network point-to-point just makes it so we're not going to elect a designated router, backup designated router on a link, because there's no reason to. There's only 2 routers on that area, or not area, but link. Show IP OSPF neighbor. All right, so we're exchanging routes with Junos. Show configuration, display set. All right, so set OSPF, protocol OSPF, area 0, interface Ethernet 1, interface type point-to-point, P2P. 2 and LO0 as passive. Set interface Ethernet 1 MTU 1550, Ethernet 2 1550, commit quit. Show protocol, show OSPF neighbor. All right, so we got that. And then IP routing, router OSPF 10. The 10 is a 10 is just a router, just a process ID. It's locally significant, doesn't go anywhere. There's no analog in the Juniper config. You just need some identifier. All right. I've got full routing with all the different networks. Let's see if I got show IP route. And I have all three loopbacks, all four loopbacks. Good. All right, so the underlay is complete. And I'll do a... You don't have to do a write mem or a copy run start on the Junos devices. At least I don't think you do. But you do on these. I'm going to save this so I don't lose my space. All right. Next, we're going to do the EVPN part. And so spine one. This will be oh yeah, we're gonna do eBGP because that's the one I'm used to. So everything needs an AS number. The spines are gonna be AS 6501. (101) 102 and 103. So spine one router BGP 65001, router ID 10.1.255.101. No BGP default. So we're telling it not to do IPv4 by default. And we want to do neighbor. BGP neighbor. Neighbor. Let's call it overlay. Peer group. Remote. Yeah, we're not going to do remote AS. Local AS. What do we need? Trying to remember what to configure here. Look up another guide I've got. There we go. Do maximum paths 4. Update sources loopback 0. We're going to source everything from loopback 0. That's what we do with EVPN overlays. EBGP multi-hop, we'll turn that on. We need to send community. And the neighbor will be, for the spine, will be 192.168.10.255. Pretend 1, 255, 1. Peer group, overlay, remote, peer group, overlay. And then also the remote AS will be 65001. Oh, 65101. 2. Let's leave 2 and then leave 3. 3, 2. The address family EVPN neighbor overlay activate. All right, so it should stay active because it can't actually ping them. It can't connect to them yet because they're not configured. So I'll go to leaf 1 and router BGP 65101. No BGP default IPv4 unicast because we're not going to route just regular IPv4 with this. Router ID 10.1.255.1. Neighbor overlay. Peer group. Update source loopback 0. eBGP multi-hop. We have to do multi-hop because eBGP sets a TTL of 1. So if it's not directly connected, it will fail because the TTL will go to 0. So we have to do multi-hop in order for that to work. And then send community. And our neighbor 10.1.255.101. Remote AS 65 that, and they're both there. 1.255.101 peer group overlay. Address family EVPN, address family neighbor overlay activate. All right, so we are exchanging EVPN routes with spine 1. For this, now let's do spine 2. Actually, no, let's do the other leaves first. Maybe I'll copy and paste. Always a dangerous thing to do. But this should actually work. So we're going to leave 2. Router ID. Just paste the rest of this. All right, that's established. Now we'll do leaf 3. All right, leaf 3 is a little more complicated. So config, set protocols, BGP, O group, overlay, multi-hop, local address, 10.1.255.3. Set for EVPN signaling. AS 65 local AS 65.103 neighbor is 10.1.255.101 and 102. License failure. that's right. Okay, so I don't know if I should show the license. I've got it in another window, but maybe I gotta copy this. I'm gonna move this. Should I? You know what? I'll just show it. It's an eval license. Does it tell me I can't do that? I had to sign something. Yeah, better safe than sorry. All right, so I got the license in there, and then it's config system. What is it? System. System. Show system or set system. Yeah, config set system license. Not shoot, what is it? No, I don't remember how to just abandon these. Show system license installed. Set system. Can't remember how to do the license. Install license CLI Junos. Request system. It was actually AI that figured it out. So this is request system license add. It worked before. All right, I'm giving up on this. If I can't get the license feature, then there's no point in even trying. This is kind of... crpd is kind of useless. Ignoring license for this feature. This feature is not used by your product. License invalid. How did that work before? Could have sworn I did that. Oh, I think I know why. I think I know what I did wrong. So that's, I think I downloaded the license for the virtual. Is there a C something? It's containerized. Juniper containerized firewall. Yes, CSRX. That's what I did. So that, okay, that's the thing. It's gotta be, whoa, that's a much, wow. That doesn't look like the license I installed before though. Let's try request system license add terminal. Invalid license. What the heck did I do? Maybe I got the, yeah, if the trial page doesn't work. Juniper containerized trial. Maybe it's another one, another product, CSRX, crpd. Is there another? So download the software, retrieve your license key. That's not it. Yeah, maybe it's CSRX. That's a firewall though. And that's not what I installed before. How the heck did that work? Oh well. All right, I'm gonna give up for now. We'll see, I'll try tomorrow maybe. We'll see what happens, but it's frustrating. I would like to be able to do something with Junos without installing a 5 gigs, something that eats up like half the CPU of my VM. But it doesn't, so far it doesn't look like we can do anything with that. So, alrighty. I'll try again tomorrow maybe. Have a good evening, everyone.